Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to College Call of Duty. We apologize about the wait, but had to get these guys set up, and now we are good to go for the very last match of the night. My name is Visions. Alongside me is Proper. We had a 3-0 in the last series with a couple of good moments. We'll see what this one has in store for us here, Andy.
Absolutely, yeah. Two teams and a very, very stacked division, also. We're staying in the West, but we're hopping down to Division C. Independence Community College, the Pirates, going up against the Eagles out of Oklahoma Christian. This one is slated to be an absolute banger between these two teams, and I bring up the stacked division because Oklahoma Christian actually just faced Ottawa, the top dog in this entire region as a whole, and I'm being told it wasn't very close. Ottawa kind of handed them a swift 3-0, so I'm not too sure. This one's still going to be a banger in my eyes, though.
Yeah, we'll have to have a big bounce back here for us, but, I mean, important to note that at least coming into the day, both did have 6-0 starts throughout Week 1, so they were looking like they had their feet underneath themselves, had a good start to the season. Now it's a matter of can they actually put it together here against one another here, so I think it will be a good look, and we'll get to see where their strengths really lie, because like you said, this is a stacked division. There's a lot of talent that we have here, and it's not going to be easy to try to place in that top 3, top 4 to be able to make it to the upper stage here throughout this division. So we'll see how everything ends up coming together. Now, our interesting notes for as far as what we do have here, I feel like we have to talk about the fact that Bala is in the CCL. I want to say this is his first time that we'll see him on the mainstream. And if you do not know who Fastball is, well, he's been around the block throughout Call of Duty for a good amount of time. I mean, did play in challengers throughout last year, did not find a whole lot of success throughout the last couple of years. So now has moved his talents over to the collegiate scene to see how he's going to be able to mesh with some of these guys that he has on the squad here, Andy.
Yeah, and that's going to be the immediate consideration when it comes down to Bala and his crew. Is how do the rest of the teammates stack up with the pacing that we know that Bala is going to end up bringing for themselves. But at least for the home team for Independence Community College, they are definitely going to be a team to be very scary, in my opinion. We'll take a look at their roster here in just a few seconds. J-Zerk, Careless, Alicio, and Big Head. Now, J-Zerk and Big Head, they've been traveling across the states. They've been playing in a lot of local tournaments together, sometimes apart. But as a 4-player roster, and even with Alicio into the mix as well, this team's grinding. I swear, almost every single day, I see at least one of them tweeting out that they're either taking search and destroy wagers, they're trying to make sure that their game is in the tip-top shape that they know it absolutely can be. And being a stacked 4 roster, we got to see some of that in the kickoff seasons that we had here for the CCL. They're quite scary.
They are scary. I mean, a well-synergized squad that feels like they do understand how they want to play the game, and we got to see that a lot throughout the kickoff here, so we'll see if they're going to be able to carry that into this week's matchups. But, of course, on the opposite end, we have to take a look at our away squad here for Oklahoma Christian University, and as we already mentioned, one of the big names joining the CCL this year, we're going to have Bala alongside. We got Ray, Gus, Sniper, Dez as well here. The 4 to try and see if they have what it takes to be able to bounce back and overall take it to ICC, because we know that this squad has potential. The biggest one being Bala, just being involved in the scene for such a long time. He brings a lot of veteran leadership that is going to be so valuable to a lot of these young guns here on the squad, Andy.
I mean, let's be honest. Bala was a single 1v1 away versus Karma at MLG Atlanta. To making it big. That one single 1v1, Bala might not even been here. Bala could have been on the main stage this past weekend. Who honestly knows? It has a lot of implications, I'm sure, to what Bala has made decision-wise over the year. You know, he's been playing a lot of challengers, playing a lot of different cups, playing a lot of different wagers, a lot of different small wage tournaments to be able to hold themselves steady, sure, but we know that the skill is always there. We know that Bala will always end up holding up to what we have seen from them way back in the day, and that could be very, very scary when you're thinking about a pace and a time to kill that we have here in Vanguard, Austin.
Absolutely. Now, taking a look at our map set here on the day. Bokash Hardpoint again to kick us off. Feels like it's a trend for the majority of the best of fives we see right now in competitive Call of Duty. We'll move over to a Berlin Search and Destroy, Hardpoint Tuscan, Hardpoint Berlin. And then if we end up going all the way to the distance here in the map 5, we'll also end off with the Bokash Search and Destroy.
Quite like this map set. I mean, when you're looking, you're going to get the best of every single world. You know, with the Search and Destroy, we get a lot of timings. Who knows? Maybe we might be able to see some great Swifty Car 98K action as well. The Tuscan Hardpoint as well as the Bokash Hardpoint. It is the lay of the land for SMGs. And if it goes to a map number 4, then we'll start to see a little bit more mixy with what the automatons definitely have to offer for itself. But even still, it's going to be a great mixture to be able to see a lot of our narratives almost come to life here, Austin. Again, the biggest thing of it all, how does Ray, Gus, and Sniperdez hold up along with Bala versus the pace that I already know Jzer, Careless, Alicio, and Big Head out of ICC are going to be able to bring to the table, even in the first guaranteed 3 maps?
Yeah, and I mean, that is going to be the really big question here. You have a lot of this chemistry, the synergy, playing with one another throughout multiple tournaments. I feel like that goes a really long way, especially when you're building a new team atmosphere. When you've had experience traveling, going to lands with one another, you know the synergy is there. It's just making sure that it's spread out across the team. And, well, we'll see if they're going to be able to bring it here on the day. So far, it has been solid starts for ICC, 6-0 throughout week 1. We're looking to see if Oklahoma Christian will be able to bounce back after the loss versus Ottawa, but this is the match to do it in. Can Bala lead the charge here? Can he get it done with his squad mates that have been putting in a bit of time, have been putting in the reps? But now for the final match of the night here, Andy, we'll see how it all comes together.
And actually, go ahead and mark that up as a flawless 9-0, 3-0 start for ICC. They actually beat UCO in their first matchup today, winning the hardpoint 250-8. Yeah, that's right. You heard me right. 250-8. Low-cost hardpoint underway. Yeah, disgusting to say the least. But we'll see how this opening rip incurs for ourselves. Given how mixy this entire map can end up going, got flipped on its head with our second map of the night. And what a great start coming out from ICC. They have themselves a nice little 4-1 start, Austin.
4-1 start. Careless still alive on the point. 2-0 for him. Sniperdez shrugs him off the angle. Now he's going to play his life inside of Barn as the hill goes neutral here with 20 seconds left. Thinking about spawns, but Jzer wants to put the pressure on. Finds 2. Alessio finding the third ball that drops. Alt to Sniperdez in the back. He's going to drop in. Oh, clean shots coming through from Gus. Rips him off the tank. Both teams fighting for spawns, but it looks like it is going to be Gus who locks him down for the squad.
Gonna get beamed from range out of Sniperdez and MP40. Not easy shots to be able to find for yourself. 1v1 up close for Ray. Will take down Careless, but spawns will still hold so far for Oklahoma Christian. They're going to be looking at this P2 area, but ICC, they're doing a great job, at least from the east side of the map, also to be able to keep it contested. And you also have players trying to influence their pressure inside of Barn. Some solid kills coming through for ICC to be able to open up the front end of this hardpoint.
Azerk with a lot of patience, waiting for his teammates to get close enough that they can potentially flood the back. Bala, aggressive challenge, finds one, but quick trade. And now we'll see Gus just trying to fight over the players that have been able to push themselves to the front of the hill. Jzer here still alive. 5 in a row, goes to the knife. How about a little Rambo action coming out here for us? Jzer starting to find the footing early here on Bocage Hardpoint, and ICC from the front have gotten a good amount of time as Careless is keeping it going. 3 in a row, not stopping. ICC are on fire.
This map will, especially if two teams are very close, it's going to always come down to the scrap time and how you influence that scrap time. And, well, when you have Jzer and Careless just going AWOL like that, being able to find back-to-back 3 pieces amongst themselves, it's going to be able to lock down the rotation because, remember, they held that from the front. So now they have these hedge spawns. Playing in the backside of Grandma's. Big Head gave up a little bit of timing. Ray's going to take them down. Big pinstripe kill feed coming through as Oklahoma Christian are trying to break from the front, but it's going to fall flat on its face. Great opening for ICC here on 3.
Great opening indeed. Player 1 looking at Sniperdez. He's found 2 off screen. It opens up a window, but you got to get through Jzer, and Ray will get the job done. Clearing out the hard point. Now 25 seconds left to try and fight over. Trying to fight out of your spawn is also sometimes the difficulty when you're spawning in the back of this P3 hill. But Jzer from the side, fully streaked out. Can't find any kills on that push. Big Head and Careless finally get inside of the point, and it looks like ICC should have the scrap time, but the rotation, Oklahoma Christian, looking good for it.
Yeah, they are absolutely looking good for it so far, but you got to keep your head on a swivel. This is a very hard and difficult hill to be able to maintain for yourself, given how many entry points that you have. But these early kills coming through are going to be quite relevant for yourself. Nice shots out of Alicio to be able to take down Gus on that upper shingle area. But nobody was able to watch all the way through. Big Head actually hits a massive flank to get on the backside of the barn, while the rest of their teammates are influencing in the middle of the map.
Alicio, 3 in a row. Stun locks him down. Big Head off screen. It's now combined for a few in a row. Bala inside the point, getting the objective work done alongside Ray, but Jzer has been able to snap on Gus and Ray. Careless deals with Bala, and now A gunfight outside looks like it's there for Careless. So looking a little bit better here for ICC. Good recovery coming in, getting a lot of this time. Oklahoma Christian, it's a really fully break on in, but only a 40-point game going in towards the final hill. Not too bad as the scrap time looks like it will be fought over, but ultimately Alicio will win it.
Yeah, those last few seconds of being contested are actually big for Oklahoma Christian. Sniper Dez, great showcasing of the minimap here from our observers. Actually made a big brain play, and they actually rotated all the way to the backside of the Dovecot Tower. But the problem is, nobody was actually watching that main street, and Big Head will try to influence their presence here on the map. But luckily enough, they get cut down before any real damage was done. But through this main street over by the taxi cab, Careless has found themselves a little bit of an avenue, and they have a read on Sniper Dez up top. They already found the kills on the backside of the willow tree. This is a very influential and quite honestly an early break out of ICC.
Careless finds one up top. Back into the hard point right now. Oh, snaps on the second. Good work being done. 3 players now down here for Oklahoma Christian. The spawn still favored for ICC for the point. 20 seconds left. That is a full feed of blue. Exactly what you want to see right now if you're an ICC Esports fan. They already got players positioned around P1. It looks like they're going searching for players that are already rotating here. So Oklahoma Christian, they're going to make sure that they cover their bases. They're going to back up and start to play for this rotation because they know how influential the hill after this is going to be.
Yeah, they sure do. The problem is that they got to be able to keep P1 contested while also making sure that their long, lengthy play to be able to make P2 a money hill later on down the road will be influential for themselves. But J-Zerk finds 2. Big Head Careless clean up the last few. And that's going to completely flip it back on its head. Now, OC, they'll still hold on to those very influential west side of the map spawns when we do end up going over towards P2. But Big Head is on a tear. 16 and 12 on 3. There's number 4. Getting twisted, looking for number 5. Snaps onto Gus inside the barn. Got themselves a little bit of a glide bomb, and now they're back in the tin to be able to block out these spawns.
Oh, and they got to go searching for him here. They have to know Big Head is missing. He just found a 3-piece. Gus, no idea where he is. Fully streaked out is now Big Head. One more player to deal with back here, and J-Zerk finds it. How about another clean rotation being won? You got multiple route men here on this squad right now, Andy. The scrap time, you can have it if you're Oklahoma Christian because ICC, they have the money hill now, and they are set up to potentially take this game into their control. 137 points here, and now they need to make sure they get on the time itself.
Oh, and they're going to confirm so much information all off of this glide bomb as well. No one read that Alicio was up in that little nerdy spot. You can see player number 5 on the minimap. They were in that position for the past 30 seconds or so. And as they're trying to cut through the hedges, that's going to start funneling all of Oklahoma Christian on the south side of the map into the waiting arms of J-Zerk, who's 20 and 15, but careless inside the hill. Finds 2, snaps to the rat, will lose to Gus, but the damage has been done. A teammate actually comes through, and that's not going to help out your deficit, Oklahoma Christian.
Yeah, desperation starting to set in right now. Big Head on 21 and 13. He is pushing all the way out through the front. Meanwhile, they've been able to comfortably sit on that hill, grab that scrap time. Another 10 seconds means they're going to have over 100 points in their favor. Oklahoma Christian, I mean, if you're going to strike, if you're going to hold, it's got to be this hill.
Yeah, but full 60s don't necessarily come easily here on Bocage, Austin. You know as well as I do, as I'm sure that these players also know. ICC Esports are going to be licking their lips, waiting for the right pinch to come through. Alicio does find the first, and here comes the collapse from the upper staircase. Now, they do end up going 2 for 2. So the break from the front won't be utterly influential, but J-Zerk, I mean, Easter's not for a couple months, my man, but came jumping in like a jackrabbit. It ends up snapping here from Big Head to be able to clean up the final kill. Still head spawns in for Oklahoma Christian, so it will have the closer spawns, but that's not necessarily a good thing if you can tell by the canter of my voice. This could turn into a spawn trap very, very quickly with 25 seconds remaining on P3.
Oh, it very much will. I mean, Alicio also playing his life. Look at this. Just beautifully done. Not taking challenges he doesn't need to, and just forcing the opposition to make that first move, and then boom, here he is again, adding in additional support, trying to fight for some of the scrap time. Nothing given over for free right now for the side of ICC, as they have now climbed over 200 points, more streaks in their conversation. I mean, ICC, they have everything they need to be able to lock this map in.
Gus for 2, coming and resurfacing themselves inside of the barn hardpoint, but I mean, you got to feel that it might be just a little bit too late. ICC, they're just playing with a certain amount of sauce that you don't necessarily want to be messing with. Nice little reach out coming through from Big Head will take down Bala. Hardpoint will still be contested for the time being, but with such a big leader's advantage, you're totally fine with just slaying out, going 1 for 1 in certain instances of time. Big Head, my word, almost ended up taking down Sniper Dez as well. But if you end up finding these trades with such a massive lead that ICC Esports have accrued for themselves, it's just a matter of time. It's a war of attrition at this point, Austin. Oklahoma Christian, they need to be able to win gunfights consistently and convincingly.
Yeah, they really do. And I mean, we talked about one of the big names here, Bala, entering into the CCL, 18-35. That is a lot of deaths. We know Bocage here, you know, very aggressive map. You're probably going to have a lot of interactions, but 36, I mean, well above the cut for everyone else here in the lobby. And it has not really led to a lot of time. A couple seconds end up going over. Alessio is already positioned himself to try and watch over his teammates who have not found their way to the hill just yet. But you're looking at now what is going to be another clean feed of blue, meaning that they're going to be able to find themselves into the hill very quickly.
Yeah, you got Jzerk, they're watching that water wheel cross. You also have Careless, they're watching that main road as well. Big Head is keeping things mixy inside of the hardpoint itself. Gus is actually going to hit it from the river road, and that's going to be quite an influential kill. But the next big deal and threat is going to be Elysium up top. They do find that first, playing their life again ever so wonderfully.
Wow.
The Vlad Am supremacy coming through out of Elysium, 26-11, 222 to 110. A minor comeback is coming through for Oklahoma Christian, but again, a little bit too late as far as his hardpoint is concerned.
Yeah, you can tell the practice, the chemistry, it really is here. Everything we were talking about with this squad that have been working their tails off to get to this point right here where they have just such a massive lead. They've looked so good, yet to drop a single map in the CCL. And that stat is gonna hold true as they just need a couple more seconds. Jzerk has finished off 3, make it 4. Careless goes to the hip fire, but there's the final seconds. There's the start to the best of 5. ICC, they are showing up and they are here to play.
I'm shook. I am absolutely shook if I'm Oklahoma Christian at this point going forward, because again, all of our framework was around that ball, what they were going to be bringing to the table. They were more than negative at that point. You see it right there, 19-41. Not for a lack of engagement, it's not for a lack of trying, but you said it beautifully. It's the chemistry, it's the teamwork as a whole, how comfortable this ICC Esports roster is with one another. That just doesn't happen overnight. That is something that has been well practiced. It has been something that has been worked on for a handful of months. And it's coming all the way through. I mean, I cannot just gas up Jzerk enough. I'll optimize your PCs and I'll optimize your hardpoint games, baby. Because this dude, which is going on an absolute tear. We saw that they were able to do it with the Shiv, with the MP40, and always end up trying to influence their presence as far as rotations were concerned and when they were breaking from the front. I mean, how many times did we see Oklahoma Christian trying to go for setups on a multitude of hard points, 2 going into the second set of hills, and the same for 3, and the same for 4, just to be broken up from a multitude of pinches. As we take a look at a couple of these stats here, Austin, they'll be quite telling to the story that unfolded for the final scoreline.
I mean, absolutely. The biggest stat this year that I'm glad they added is, you know, the non-traded kills. And you look at it again on a map like Bocage that is fast-paced. It's not always easy to track down your opponents after they've taken down an enemy. But, I mean, when you have 28, 24, and 27, you know, untraded kills that are coming through, like ICC are dictating so much of the pacing on the map. They're getting away scot-free a lot of the times. And they're finding a lot of multi-kills as well. People are not getting in there to trade them. And it's just obviously extremely difficult at that point to really get any good hardpoint time when you're not finding trades, when you're not the one, you know, making sure that you're locking down the hill, finding these multi-kills. It's obviously going to make things very difficult here for you, and that's why they see the scoreline of the 250 to 110. Also, a lot of great hill time, basically being spread out from just about everyone here on the squad as well, which is exactly what you like to see, Andy. And now as we take a look at the maps coming up, we got a Berlin search and destroy. And the one thing I will say is that despite getting 3 out from Ottawa, it was a 6-4 scoreline that came through here for the side of Oklahoma Christian. So we'll see if that will end up continuing over to the series here, because you might just need it going into map 2.
Yeah, there's one thing that we know that has preceded the testament of time is that ball on search and destroy is an absolute force. So we know we haven't seen that through what feels like almost like, what are we at now? Like 6, maybe 7 titles at this point through Bala's career. Yeah. Search and destroy has always been a mainstay for this individual, but it comes down again to the overall narrative of what that's going to look like when they are playing with Ray, Gus, and Sniper Dez. How well are they going to be able to uphold a lot of these different angles and avenues that we know Berlin Search and Destroy can absolutely come to when it comes down to finding those first bloods, post-plant situations, having that blind trust, and everything else in between, because we already saw it coming out of ICC Esports. that they have everybody's crosses. Every single I was dotted, every single T was crossed as far as that hard point was concerned. I've seen these guys playing Search and Destroy. I've tuned into a couple of their personal streams throughout the entirety of the season so far, Austin, and it's been quite telling. They definitely put in the work across the 2 game modes that we are currently playing here.
Yeah, you got to see it shine now, because at that point where you don't want to go 2-0 down to a team that has never lost a map. I mean, 3-0 on the day, 6-0 week 1. You could have said the exact same thing about Oklahoma Christian coming in towards the day as well. But, I mean, after going up against Ottawa, which I feel like, you know, is a little expected, of course, you know, after last year, those guys played up against each other, the 2 teams. And now we're looking to see if they could run things back here again throughout 2022. So I don't feel like you have to be too hard on yourself after losing to them. But it would certainly be difficult to have an excellent week 1, go into week 2, and feel like things are starting to maybe go downhill in a sense where you end up losing 2 series here. So, of course, they want the best for themselves. They want to be able to bounce back. And I feel like you come back to Bala to be able to guide them, right? He was in this position where nothing's really been going right in Challengers and wanted to try things out in the collegiate scene. And if you're going to make this kind of a jump, you have to not only make sure that you're pulling your weight here, Andy, but you have to also make sure that you're, you know, building your teammates up, getting on the same page, putting in that work. We've seen a bit of scrims happening overall, but how much of that is going to translate into, you know, these search and destroys? I mean, that's what we're also about to find out. And on top of that, we got Berlin, which means that we might get some sniper action. We saw the snipers throughout the weekend, and I was like, thank goodness we got snipers back in play, because it has been too long.
Yeah, it really has been, right? Smokes, as well as the Car 98K, they're all in play for Vanguard as well as they're concerned. Don't you GA it now.
Yeah,
right?
let's go.
GA gods, you keep away from my snipes, because they are not OP. They are quite influential, and you can find a lot of value specifically here on Berlin. Whether you're looking at that warehouse cross, looking all the way over towards towards P3 rather, or towards the upper courtyard. Defensively, from that crane, looking straight down that B street, looking all the way towards that warehouse as well. So many first bloods can come all the way through, but Smokes can absolutely put a fumble to that play if you end up having a good timing on your side to make sure that you can get a submachine gun inside that site to almost nullify the sniper's POV from finding any further value from themselves as well. Make sure that that sniper player is the last alive, and make sure you always keep tabs on where you see that glint on your map, because if you are keeping track of that sniper player and you're playing the little nooks and crannies that Berlin has to offer, whether it's inside of Mail or inside of the concourse near the train center, you're going to be able to shut down that sniper rifle quite honestly easier than you would think. We saw it happen all weekend long during the CDL Kickoff Classic. We've been seeing it happen during Challengers across all 3 regions so far as well. It can happen here in the College COD League as well.
That's right. Hopefully we'll get some of that action pulled out here for us. And on top of that, I think my favorite thing about Berlin is the fact that you can hit either bomb site. I mean, that is really the biggest factor. There's a lot of maps where obviously you're always going to have pretty much one favorite site, but I feel like this one really is determined on the team, where if you feel like you have a hot sniper that's going to be able to find those first bloods, it's going to be able to stop people from crossing, then you can go very much over to the riverside and see if you can get something planted. Or you can play, you know, more so over to, I believe it's A, where there's a lot of corners you got to check, but if you get control, it sets up for a very nice post plan, which, you know, in turn means that if you're on the defense on this team, I think it is so crucial that you're on the same page for setting up your retakes, Andy, because you don't know which bomb site they're going to attack, and because both are very optional to be able to go into, you really do have to make sure that everyone's in the right position, everyone's coordinated when you're setting up those retakes.
There's 2 words that really come to mind. I mean, from Search and Destroy as a whole, I know you love your Search and Destroy. You came up as an S&D kid yourself, but even still, it does speak utter volumes when it comes down to Berlin, and those 2 words are flexibility and adaptation. Now, when you are able to showcase your flexibility in reading the offensive hits, say that they're trying to bull rush over towards a handful of rounds, now you go for a 2-2 setup. You don't overinvest your defensive numbers, because then the offensive team is going to get in your head. You have to be able to showcase those adaptations to read the enemy's tendencies. What are they relying on? How heavy are they hitting? Are they relying more on their submachine guns? Are they waiting for their picks? Are they getting a lot of information off the stuns? All of these things matter, especially when we're talking about these 2 teams here in this West Division D. Because, to be completely honest with you, here in Division C, this very much so could be the battle to see who is top 2, if not top 1, again, behind Ottawa Esports after they just beat Oklahoma Christian. We'll have to see here in the opening Search and Destroy round. Oklahoma Christian looking pretty hot and heavy towards this AS&D site. We'll go 1 for 1. Big Head being able to find that first kill is utter volumes for the rest of the team to rotate on over.
Well, J-Zerk's going to drop. Gunfight inside. Sniper Dez finds it. Careless is going to also fall here for us. Alicio got in a 1 versus 3. That bomb's being planted. There could be an interesting timing here for Alicio to maybe find the player exiting off the site. Takes the shots and can't finish off the kill. Good setup coming in. That's exactly what we wanted to see here. Oklahoma able to strike first.
Yeah, and that was just a great opening offensive round, right? You find the first player over on the concourse stairs, and then from there on out, you're almost able to expect, once you get inside of the office and you clear out both small rooms, you check behind the desk, that is, by proxy, almost eliminating where the rest of the players are going to be coming from. There's really only 2, maybe 3 places. The one player got dealt with on the flank, all the way on the backside of Mail, and then the 2 players were either over by Statue or on the upper courtyard. Great isolation coming through from Oklahoma Christian on their offensive round. Now we get to see what ICC look like on their offense, and they're taking this rather slow, actually dedicating Alicio to get really up close towards that stained glass window over by the A bomb site, just clearing away the space. And well, this would be the right call. You can see the bomb rotating all the way over towards that AS&D site. Oklahoma Christian, they put all of the marbles on that B defense.
Big Head finds the first blood. Ball is there for the quick exchange. Once again, 3v3, just like the last round, but it is Jzerk again. That evens up for his squad. Now 3 versus 2. What are they going to be able to do for as far as the retake? Looking at Bala, he's already here, but it looks like they're going to wait patiently here for Ray so that they can do it together.
Oh, great ratty corner from Alicio. We'll find all 2. You gotta check your corners. You gotta. And if you don't, it's always going to be those minor little post plant in nerdy positions where there's going to be players located at. And we got to see that from Alicio. Again, LATAM talent coming up to North America to get their college education and being able to do it here in the College COD League as well. Just showcasing their talents and abilities on Bocage, just playing those long lines of sight with the Automaton. Pulls out the MP40 for that round, plays a very close corner, and just isolates players, not checking their corners in return. Offense for offense we go. Looks like Oklahoma Christian, they want to go back towards that A-heavy offense, but here are those adaptations from ICC. 2 players over here again, but they're not going to go over aggressive towards that staircase.
Attacking A, and Bala is just flown out. Need a trade. It follows. But there's still one more player inside the site. Ray, about to say hello to him, opens the door, finds the trade. 2 versus 2, plenty of time on the clock. Bomb goes down, but that should be easily picked up if they want to try to plant for A.
A lot of corners you got to end up checking, and I like this call, actually. Off screen, Gus actually clears out the flank. Jzerk was trying to get inside the warehouse. Now 2v1. I don't think they know where Alicio is at up in this top 3rd area, and they're going to try to clear out their flank, but they have no idea where Gus is located at, and yeah, that was an uphill battle, to say the least. No pun intended for how that final fight ended up unfolding for itself, but again, it was just a fantastic push. I mean, say what you will about Bala, quite literally throwing their life away, just going out into the upper courtyard area. But even off of them dying as quickly as we saw, that was enough positioning, because 2 players did end up shooting at Bala while they were flying out through the upper courtyard. And whether that was a set strategy, maybe it was the call-out play, regardless, it worked out in OC's favor to be able to isolate those 2 players over by the A-bomb, being able to drop that rock, and then again, just clearing out their flank. Just nice tried and true search and destroy coming through for OC, at least on their offenses, but their defense is where they've fallen a little bit flat. This time, 3 players actually rushing through the concourse, and well, Jzerk has a lot of work cut out in front of them, and they actually locked down 2 players. They don't know that Ray's here, though. They'll know now.
Yeah, I like that from ICC. They slow down, wait patiently, and it pays off. And now, 1 player makes the aggressive hit. Alicio finds Ray. Gus would have to pull off a miracle. 1 versus 4, now 1 versus 3 here. Is on a bit of a streak. I would be interested to see if he just tries to play his life. I think that'd be the right call, and he's going to find some shots on Careless. He's trying to buy time now. They know exactly where he is, and it's going to be Jzerk, I believe, who finishes him off.
Yeah. Again, it just comes down to that opening rip, right? I mean, you kind of bet it all on 22 black at that point, and it ends up rolling over to 18 red, and you just lose all your money. It's kind of how that round went for me, Austin. I'm not going to lie. You got 3 players just trying to rush down the concourse stairs, and got an Automaton or an MP40 just locking down that line of sight, just almost expecting it. Unforced errors are going to come back to absolutely bite you in the rear to be able to close out defensive rounds here on Berlin Search and Destroy, and that's one of many of them. Definitely won't see OC do that again, at least I hope. But on their offense this time around, gonna see that smoke cross coming all the way through. The Sniper Dez make it all the way through. Jzerk spamming through it. It's Big Head that actually cleans up Sniper Dez. With an explosive barrel kill, I believe.
I think that was the case. Bala should be able to retrieve this bomb. But instead, waits for the gunfight. 2 players now in the docks area. Going to make things fairly difficult for Bala to be able to work himself outside of the building. Has to take an isolated gunfight here. Tries for it. Jay Zerk, again, from long range, has been so good. 4 in a row now. And you're able to get one back from Ray. But Gus will go down, and now Ray's in a 1v3.
All you basically said is good luck, have fun for Ray, because he only has so much information to play with. And, well, you can see Jay Zerk, they're immediately where they're looking. They know exactly where Ray's located at, but Ray's actually making the play, trying to rotate all the way back around. The mini-map would at least say that Jay Zerk would be aware that this push is going to end up happening. Does he even look over towards the crane? The box truck is at least covering them for the time being. And yeah, they're not going to clear all the way from behind. I mean, that is quite literally the furthest back into the very far side that you could possibly play with an automaton. So we'll see our first defensive round. It took us 5, but we'll see a defensive round come all the way through. And all off the smoke cross, it takes a certain amount of moxie just to be able to spray all the way through those smokes to be able to find value, some damage for sure. But whether it was intended or not, that one little explosive barrel kill that ended up stopping that bomb push from actually ensuing into the B hut itself really flipped that on its head. And now Jay Zerk, they find themselves on 6 straight, 7-2 through multiple rounds, has both streaks to play with.
Yeah, finds those last couple kills, and it is going to be punishing for Oklahoma Christian. That's the cross. Careless calls out 1. As the nade's going to come through here, but Gus actually still manages to find it. Nade comes out, won't find the trade, and now Careless under fire. Needs to back away and play his life here. Gus doing quite a bit of damage despite getting called out on the cross. Now could just sit inside of B. Bomb looks like it's starting to rotate over to A, but look how aggressive Oklahoma's getting. But will it be a double? Big Head tags the second heavily. Jay Zerk finds another off screen, and now ICC have the numbers advantage.
I thought that Ray was actually going to push all the way through. You can see where they were on the mini-map, and, well, they're actually going to get completely called out there.
Ninja?
None other than Jay Zerk, and hop on it. Do it.
Oh, it's Jay Zerk.
For the culture. Oh, yeah, no, Sniper Death is going to come from behind, and now we're in a 2v2. Bomb planted. Should be a free kill. I can see off the mini-map. Yeah, there's Gus with that free kill. Now, it's just all up to Careless. 1v2.
1 versus 2. Let's see how he plays it. And, well, 20 seconds here on the clock. In a position to potentially win this, but not finding that kill is going to potentially hurt. Now he comes back. Oh, he just shreds Gus. Oh, and he plays it so well. He knows he gets off the bomb. Baits the kill cam. Almost finds the kill on top of it. And how about that play out of Careless? 1v2. And that's one that's going to sting here for Oklahoma.
Yeah, keep your eyes out for Careless, man. I mean, one of the up-and-coming challenger players that we have in North America, Austin, definitely be finding them in a lot of value as far as search and destroys are concerned. Definitely love to be able to see what they've been able to do here with ICC as a 4-player squad, because, again, they are practiced. They looked very, very good playing with one another, being able to play out search and destroy rounds like that. And it's just the big brain play. I know that they don't have the sexiest KD stat line to talk about, but it's little plays like that that truly just bait out a lot of different information. And now Oklahoma, well, they thought that smoke play was going to bait out a certain position, but 3 players come in for ICC over by the office.
Yeah, they'll call the bluff. Big Head, though, has been able to find 2. Ray in the back will find 1, but goes down right after. One of the fastest rounds we've seen here thus far. ICC, it feels like they're figuring it out. They're not falling for the baits. They just wait patiently again, and the majority of the hits coming over towards A. It feels like they have just been able to lock it down here these last couple defensive rounds.
Well, it's funny, right? Because even when the smoke comes out, there was only 1 player that was over there. But by the time that they probably call, they're smoking the cross to B, the 3 players for ICC were already inside the office down the concourse stairs. So it's like, maybe the bait was going to be the big brain play. It just didn't end up actually being a bait to start things off. And now ICC, they're flying. They feel the hot hand. You can see OC, they're actually giving themselves a lot of respect. And I like this coming out from ICC. See if you can get any unforced errors out. Again, they're playing off the information. Jazer here with the glide bomb. We'll see at least Gus inside the B hut. Now ICC are looking to overwhelm it.
Yeah, they know he's in there. And here comes the push. Bala tries at it reinforcements, but he gets cut down, and then Gus loses the one-on-one gunfight. This has gone horrible, and Ray goes down as well. It's a flawless round to end the Berlin Search and Destroy. ICC on a different level. Just making it come together so nicely. 6-2 finish here in the Berlin, and that's going to propel them 2-0 here in the best of 5.
I mean, that was decisive. Even off of like the handful of rounds, it almost felt like that one scene out of Billy Madison where you got the 3 homies just sitting in the burger shop, just throwing pickles out a window, seeing what ended up sticking and what ended up stick the most out of Oklahoma Christian. It just, nothing was working for them. Absolutely nothing. I mean, there were a handful of rounds. We got to see them go for a couple bait plays. It was a big shout when we got to see that Bala literally threw their life into the upper courtyard to bait out 2 players' positions, and they got collapsed on. But from there on out, they cracked the code. They completed the puzzle. ICC are just undeniable when it comes down to some of these matches, my man. J-Zerk 10-3. Got a couple along quite nicely with what we got to see them on that Bocage hardpoint. Big Head was playing a massive roll double positive 8-4 with 10,000 damage. Alicio was also playing a crucial role for a lot of those round wins, but the one that really did it for me was Careless in that 1v2. Just finding the timing, finding the bait plays as well, getting the player off the bomb defuse itself, and just being able to play their life against the clock. It's these veteran plays that we're seeing out of these young heads, Austin, that is just so quite telling. It is so beautiful to see the come up of a lot of these young talent.
It really is. Just a lot of big clutches that play the difference, and that really was the turning point where if he doesn't find that 1v2 clutch, that's a 3-3 scoreline and maybe even a potential totally different outcome. But that's how it played out. 1v2 did, in fact, come through. And, of course, you see it. The player that we've been talking about all night here, Bala, unable to really find anything. Double neg in the first map. I mean, only 1 kill here on the breadstick for map 2. Don't want to push the negativity here, Andy, but, I mean, it's a really big storyline. It's a really big factor. Bala has not showed up to the series thus far. And if you have any hope at being able to close out ICC that looks so good as a solid 4, you need all 4 players, but especially your pillar here on this roster, to be able to get you over the top to see if you're going to be able to take a map. So we'll have to find out, but both of these teams going to be setting up a new lobby here, switching the host up, seeing if that'll end up shaking anything up here. So for the time being, we're going to throw things to a short break. When we come back, we'll see what happens going into map 3. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the CCL, where we are currently 2-0 into our series in favor of ICC Esports. They have been electric, to say the least here, coming off a very dominant search and destroy and hardpoint win. And now, Andy, we're going back into yet another hardpoint. And, well, this is where it is do or die for Oklahoma Christian. They got to show up right now.
Yeah, they absolutely do. We're headed towards that Tuscan hardpoint. We'll take a look at our maps and modes here and how everything is played off. 250 to 111 on that Bocage hardpoint. And then a very dominant, quite honestly decisive Berlin search and destroy out of the boys from Independence Community College. The Pirates are, well, they're claiming all the booty as far as this this best of 5 is concerned, Austin. And I'm not going to lie, by doing that, they are probably making the big argument that they're number 2 as far as this division is concerned. Again, this is all happening in the West, in Division C, where, again, Ottawa Braves are currently located. That's your former 21 CCL champs. Definitely would love to see them pace up against each other, but we still have more COD to be played here, so I mean, hey, with Bala on the team, anything might be possible at this point. I know that they didn't exactly have a stellar map number 1. They had an even less stellar map number 2. But going in towards this Tuscan hardpoint, where the rest of their team, quite honestly, Ray, Gus, and Sniperdez, they've really been holding their own. And so long as they can find some sort of resemblance of chemistry or some semblance of control as far as fighting influential kills and locking down rotations on Tuscan, that can come by way of a lot of serious time.
It very much can, and I really do think my favorite part, at least watching over ICC so far, is that it hasn't just been one person, right? Everyone's getting involved. As you go back to the hard point, everyone had just about a minute inside of the hill, if not more. Everyone getting involved in the scoreboard. We saw a couple of big plays take place there for us in this search and destroy. J-Zerk, I think, putting up close to 10, if not 10, but a lot of individual clutches as well. And you need the same thing to take place here on the side of OC. And we called out Bala right before going to the break. He did not have a good showing in the hard point. He did not have a good showing in the S&D, only dropping 1 kill. And you feel like the man that we've been talking up, one of the big names joining the College COD League, needs to be able to add something additionally here to his squad if they're going to find a dub. But ladies and gentlemen, Tuscan hardpoint, that's what's on the chopping block. And now we'll see if Oklahoma Christian got anything left in them to try to keep this series going.
Well, it's going to have to come through from this opening rep. Bala is challenging, and, well, quite frankly, Hugo challenging everything this side of the Mississippi. But Gus is going to open up with a very crucial 2. Again, middle of the map isn't exactly your main virtue. It's ICC that actually started off on the favorite side of the map, but holding down for P1 would be great, but Jazer just resurfaces themselves, becomes the overwatch for their team, allows Big Head to fly forward. What a great resurgence out of ICC through the opening rift.
Jazer has been just so strong in some of these longer range gun battles here, taking full control, and now Careless is going on 3 in a row. Oh, he goes to that pistol and finds Ray. Well, that's a clip that's going on Twitter, that's all I'll say, but it doesn't happen. ICC able to get some of this scrap time now for themselves, going to give them over 30 points to kick off the Tuscan as we start looking towards new.
You can take a look at that, even on the minimap down here at the column. It's actually OC that are down here. Now, 35 points did go over towards ICC as far as P1 is concerned, but now it's going to come through with a lot of isolated engagements. And, well, this is the nastiest head glitch that you could possibly ever imagine on Tuscan. Gus has a lot to play with, but I love this little chow that came through. They did find 2 before they went down. Just a small amount of numbers in towards the back, and this is a great resurgence, locking down every single angle ROC currently.
Yeah, of course, we saw the Bocage play out for us last time. But here on Tuscan, you can certainly get setups intact. I would say a little easier as far as being able to fend off the enemy team once you are set up. But spawn's still close for ICC. They want to try to get on for the remaining 20 seconds. Bala gets cut down. Ray comes through with a quick trade. And now it looks like we get a flip of the map. The spawn's now actually going to be here for the side of ICC, and this is one of those money hills here on the Fountain, Andy, where things can get out of control.
Yeah, one of the hardest, if not the hardest hill to break on this map. It's got to be a two-pronged attack. You got to find value through the ruins, while also getting players over by the roofing and working your way towards that patio side. But I mean, when you got Careless that is just finessing their life just inside of vines and just constantly causing pressure and distress, it's going to be a continuous uphill battle. Going 1-for-1 is not going to be good enough, but the resurgence through vines is actually coming through. But the biggest problem is you got Alicio all the way on the back on this half wall. One of the more nastier head glitches. The one over by P2, the nastiest. This one a close second. Keep those close spawns for the teammate over by the restaurant.
Wow, Alicio just kept everyone out of that point. Got 3. Likely would have gotten the 4th once he reloaded the magazine. But Ray's been able to answer back. Tries to put some pressure here on the remaining 20 seconds for P3. Jazer will also come through here with a close spawn and will be able to add in the reinforcements. So scrap time is good. ICC able to get themselves back up and will hold on to just a lead by a couple of seconds. But you got Careless, you got to deal with him. And he has been difficult to deal with here so far as he finds another 2-piece and will be able to ignite this push through the top of Church.
Putting on some wizard-esque vibes with how hard this player is to kill on the map. Sees that there's Bala up inside of that top nest area. We'll end up actually getting some assistance to be able to deal with it. That's Big Head, but he just got Careless up top, and I thought Sniper Tez had him dead to rights with the free fire, but Careless just doesn't care. We'll slam you through the floorboards. Finally bite the bullet here. It's close spawns for Oklahoma Christian. This P4 is just at the 30-second mark, and well, OC, as it currently stands, are holding about a 20-second lead. Still with the close spawns, the pinch from 2 different sides. ICC, they have broken in, but reinforcements right around the corner.
Yeah, not the easiest hill to hold. You would love to get this 20 seconds, and Big Head might have just been able to secure it that much easier here through the front. One more player. Bala will be cut down, but Ray answers back. Gus is here. Scrap time will go over, and this has been a much better start here for OC. They actually have themselves a decent lead. Now moving into the new hill, they have to deal with Jazer, who is so difficult to deal with. Takes 3 members. He'll find 2. Bala, though, immediately trying to push out, buying his team space.
We'll try to buy the team a little bit further space, and Ray's going to pick up 2 with the MP40. Alicio will go down, and, well, this is another hard hill to break. Again, nades galore in every single place in between. Big Head will break the camera. A Bala, try to turn around with the rat pistol, will come up absolutely flat, but I love the setup that's coming through. You do end up having Sniper Dez. They're trying to zone away on the backside of that radio room alleyway, but the rest of the reinforcements are coming through the rooftop. This has to be a quick, decisive break from the staircase and from the front if you want to get in for ICC.
Careless, I mean, how good has he been in these tight moments? And it's not just the kills, it's just the buying time for his teammates to get there and help him. But ICC still find themselves down. 15 seconds up for grabs. Ray will get tagged up a little bit. Bala also here with Gus as they set up the pinch. Careless should go down and finally will. Gus with 2 clears out the hard point. And as we take a look through the first rotation, Oklahoma Christian, they have now moved into map 3. Here to actually put up a fight as they'll have a good lead, but Big Head and New Hill already off to a nice start on the 3 spree.
On the 3 spree, 2 more away from that glide bomb, trying to finesse their life here in the contest spot, and well, they'll go ahead for the nice little bunny hop chow to take down Ball, and knowing that Alicio took down Gus over by that monument side, so now they have the front side of the hard point locked down. You got Jzerk zoning away the middle of the map. No flanks will be coming through, cooking up the nade. Will just take down Gus. No, Gus pushes forward. Well, the Jzerk with that nade actually takes down Sniperdez on the backside of Ruins. Got a lucky bounce off of that bad boy. Quick little 2-piece from them. 25 seconds still existing here on P1 in ICC, still holding on to the favorite side.
Oh, and you can see on the mini-map there, off-screen, Alessio already thinking about cutting off the rotation. He did so successfully. Meanwhile, you still got players looking for streaks on the P1 hill, and that's Jzerk. Gets the assistance through the middle of the map. The spawn's still deep by the Fountain Hill right now for OC. And now ICC, at the back end of P1, have taken control, have a small lead here, rather. And now we'll see what player 1, Sniperdez, can do for his team, as he might be able to lock down the spawns, and look like he has.
Sure has. Hey, he's still got one player just being a nuisance in the back. That's Bala. Will be cut down. And close spawns here for ICC. They have flipped the script. Now the 20-point lead exists for ICC, and they can continue to build that up a little bit further. Nice little top-down view here from our free cam work. We'll see Bala down and find value with Big Head inside the column, and well, they're actually doing great work from the front. Now ICC still with those close spawns will actually incur a little bit of a spawn out, but this is going to be a great value as Ray's on a 3, Sniperdez is on a 2, sitting up inside the hard point. ICC trying to resurface themselves through the patio, but we're down to scrap time. Right around that time, you want to be thinking about the rotation. That's exactly what Sniperdez ends up doing as they spawn in over by the roofs.
Oh, they do. That is the perfect spawn that Sniperdez just got. Got the squad spawns there for his teammates immediately after. And now they have the setup. They have the shot at being able to come away with a huge majority of this time on P3 Hill. One of the big money hills for us. Be able to take that lead back. They're going to be down by about 30 points. But now we'll see how the break starts to commence right now for ICC. Everyone waiting through the middle of the map while a player pinches the back. That might be blocking the roof spawns here for you now. If you find kills, they should be spawning out. Streaks coming down, kills coming in. ICC making the push happen. And it looks like they have found the break. A big moment here for the squad as they have retaken control of the hill.
And Gus has been frying at 21 and 16 for OC. But oh, even still, ICC being able to break in towards this hill, you're going to be scratching your head if you're OC, because again, to our point, this is one of the hardest hills to be able to be broken. It should be a money hill. And ICC, to all their teamwork, to all their chemistry, they do it with 30 seconds remaining, soaking up the last little bit of scrap time. You had Bala trying to at least contest said scrap time, while the rest of their team ends up spawning over by the tree. So they'll be in for 4, but they really only held this for about maybe 10, 12, maybe so seconds before it got broken up the first go of things. So the setup needs to be a little bit stronger. You see Gus looking towards the back P2 spawns. It will shut down the immediate rotation, but still more to come.
OC looking for time on the Churchill, but you have to deal with Alessio in the back. Ray says, no problem, I got it. I can't find the second. Careless now back here. Will he be able to find anything with Jzerk as they set up the hit inside of the point? They got to get through Bala, and Bala has found 3 in a row. We were waiting for him to start shining here on this roster, to start finding some success in the maps, and that was his moment. But now the push coming right back. Big Head from the back. Is he going to be able to come through? No, it's Jzerk from the front that's actually able to set up the successful pinch. ICC, this is time that they would love to have, but you can see it. OC, they want to put some pressure on it, seeing if they can at least fight for the remaining 15 seconds.
You got to battle for the scrap time here if you are Ray, and they understand that. They will contest it for the time being. Ball actually ends up coming in and contests Jzerk for the final 5 seconds or so and gives it up towards the game clock. That's a veteran move right there. Knowing that Big Head is still finding value over by P5, Ball's gonna need some shots to the toe. The sun's gonna come through. Big Head still finds 2. Now the reinforcements are right around the corner for ICC, but there's still presence coming out of the radio room.
Complete cluster inside of this hard point. Nade, stuns galore. It's all about just trying to survive. Bob and weave around everything you possibly can. Throwing yourself on the time. Will be OC there as they're going to be holding the close corner, but now 3 of them have dropped. Make it everyone has dropped. And now you're looking at what could be 30 seconds, potentially over to ICC, getting them closer and closer to the dub. Streak comes through. Jzerk takes down 1, but also will drop a teammate. Careless drops, but there's the rest of the feed. All blue as ICC find the perfect wipe at the perfect time.
24 and 23 for Alicio on a 3. 30 and 22 for Big Head, soaking up hardpoint time. Reach Hallows knows that Gus is out here as well. Quick little movement. Bait and switch gets Alicio that number 4. 1 more kill away from that glide bomb. And look at the rotation being ensued. Sniperdez will be the first player over here, but to say it needs to be flawless hardpoint going forward for OC, you can really only give up 15 seconds going forward.
15 seconds, that's not a lot of time, and ICC, they looked so good on the P1 hill in the last rotation. They locked down just about a full 60. OC, what do you have for us? Seeing if they can find a map, but Alessio takes down one, but finds Careless again. He's been eating a lot of the team kills, but it is Oklahoma Christian that get on the point for a second. 182 to 241. Everything going to the game clock, waiting for that first move, and now it's only going to be up to one. Alessio from the side, can't find the angle. Sniper Dez, does he have anything for us? He does not. His teammates coming up spawn need to flood in. They need to touch, and it's not going to happen. ICC, they have made one hell of a statement here through the first couple of weeks in the CCL as they are undefeated 12-0 throughout their map count.
Will join Ottawa as far as a flawless map count is concerned, and keep in mind that's inside the same conference, inside the same division. This is a stacked division. It's not for a lack of going down without a fight. I mean, there was at one point in time where Gus was close to being about double positive for themselves, but again, we keep going back to the one simple point here in Vanguard, here in Call of Duty as a whole. Chemistry, teamwork as a whole, they'll win you map after map, rotation after rotation on a hard point. Even trying to retake a bomb site, trying to take a bomb site. We got to see all of that in spades coming out for ICC. I know that you're smiling because you got to see it out from your Ultra Boys on the other side of this weekend, man. But even still, it's the same thing that happened here for ICC. Their teamwork is absolutely sublime. Alessio, 29 and 24, had 3,300 damage, 13 objective kills for Big Head, and 27 of their total real kills, by the way, were non-traded. This reflects how that Bocage hardpoint ended up going for itself. They had every single I dotted, every single T crossed. They knew exactly what they wanted on every single turn. Yeah, through the first set of hardpoints, OC, they really put them on the back burner. They were able to at least keep them on their heels, if you will. But even still, going forward off of that, it's those min-map adaptations. It's the composure that gets me here for ICC. Out of these 4 players that are on this squad,
oh, man.
Go very, very.
I think we're losing Proper a bit there, but either way, 3-0 came through. Beautifully done. And, I mean, you just can't say enough good things about this squad. ICC Esports, I mean, number 4 in the power rankings. We always like to see how the controversy is really coming along in the early days of the CCL power rankings, but I think ICC are living up to the hype. Number 4 here for us, up against a number 13, Oklahoma Christian. And, I mean, what a crazy flip-flop. They go through week 1 where they're 6-0. They go into week 2 and they're 0-6. So that brings them to an overall 6-6 map count here, as it's been a little bit difficult here for them to find any success through week number 2. So back to the drawing board. Back to trying to figure out how they're going to be able to get on track here for us. But Andy, any closing thoughts here after a very interesting week number 2 of quite a few 3-0s?
I was trying to scramble through the EFU site to see when we're going to end up having ICC versus Ottawa, because I need that
That'll be a big one.
I need it right now, because as far as it stands, your top 25 rankings, I don't care. If I had papers in my hands, I would throw them up in the air, because it doesn't matter. Until those 2 teams face off against each other, there's no real clear decision on who's number 1, who's number 2. They're both at the same value right now, being undefeated as far as map counts, being undefeated as far as series are concerned as well, Austin. That until that moment in time comes through, because we know what Ottawa brings to the table. That's your 2021 College COD champions. But this ICC roster, man, when they came around, a lot of people were wagging their fingers, beckoning a lot of questions as far as what they were going to be able to offer themselves. Hopefully a lot more answers are going to be able to come through, because their chemistry, amazing. Everything else to come through, absolutely sublime. But until we see them face other top 5 teams in the CCL, I'm going to continue to have more questions, but I will be a true and tried fan of the Pirates. They look great.
Pirates look good. And, well, they are cruising on their ship as they come away with a nice week yet again, 6-0. We'll have to see if they keep that up. I'm very much looking forward to that matchup against the Braves, too, as that one will be one hell of a banger. But that is going to do it here for the Alpha stream, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you follow the stream if you haven't already. We'll be live tomorrow yet again. But as we continue through the action, Bravo is still going strong. Call of Duty doesn't end tonight. We still got College COD playing out here for you guys, so we'll see how everything ends up folding out here on the Bravo stream. That's going to do it for Alpha, though. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we'll see you guys back tomorrow for more Call of Duty action.